Alsace is the smallest region of France, but also the most highly populated. It was originally occupied by the Celts, then the Romans. Let's take a look at the rich history left behind from the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. We'll go from Strasbourg to Ribeauvillé, Riquier, Kaisersberg, Eguisheim, and Colmar. Most of the main roads here were created by the Romans. We are walking towards Old Strasbourg, known as Petite France, which has architecture dating back to 13th century.
Wow! Oh, the wall has got that thing.
Drawbridge.
Ja, ich habe eben so ein Lokal gesehen, da stand auch einer da.
That was a sight to see. Here are examples of exquisite half-timbered houses where people have been living for hundreds of years. Each generation has been integrating new ideas to the old and adapting them in special ways with color and materials. Old Strasbourg is built around canals, once used by tanners and fishermen. Some canals were constructed as early as 1600. Nowadays, the canals are a major tourist attraction, with floating cruise barges and hotels known as peniche. Let's look around while we eat. That's the magnificent Gothic Cathédrale Notre Dame. Construction started in 1220. It was built in stages until the 15th century. Imagine in the Middle Ages, the street filled with flute players, actors and acrobats from all over. That tradition is still celebrated today every September. The Counts of Ribeaupierre were the last lords before the French Revolution. They were the protectors of the traveling musicians and actors. You can see their chateau up in the hills.
Effringué comme un gandin, il pionçait dans de beaux draps, mais n'oubliez pas, dans la vie on n'est pas de balle, quand votre cœur est au clou, sans amour on n'est rien du tout.
The Butcher's Tower separates the upper village and the lower village. Each village belonged to different branches of the same Ribeaupierre family. The vineyards have been in existence since the Middle Ages. The region's other specialty were beautiful plates for cloth printing. The upper village is more residential. Storks have always been in Alsace and nest on chimney tops and other places. The storks arrive in March from Western Africa and rebuild the same nests every year. Bricklayers considered the jewel of Alsace. The village was first recorded in 1194. The village walls were built in 1291. 2 separate walls were built for protection against invaders. It is one of the most perfectly preserved medieval villages in France. Let's go in through the front gateway called Obertor. Restaurants close after lunch to prepare for dinner. People's lifestyle and existence here revolves around winemaking, as it did during Middle Ages. Wine is everywhere. With every step, you find a portal, a courtyard, or a beautiful house. The tower is the rear gateway called Dolder, built in 13th century. Listen to the local sounds. Kaisersberg has been in existence before 1100. There are several Roman remains around Kaisersberg. It was an important stop to Germany from south. Emperor Frederick II had a castle built on a hill overlooking the valley. In 1227, he had the village fortified with surrounding walls. The village grew around the fortress. Notice the wide roads in this village.
La chansons courent encore dans les rues. La foule les chante.
There's a strong Roman Catholic community and a smaller Protestant community living together.
Sans savoir pour qui battait leur cœur. Et quand on est à tour d'idées, on fait la 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 la.
Unusual to find spring streams running below village homes. There's a legend that the first vines planted were brought from Hungary by Lazare de Schwindy during Maximilian time.
Dans les rues. Après que les poètes ont disparu.
During Middle Ages, Kaisersberg also was a market center and had a craft industry. And in the 19th century, it developed a textile industry.
Ou vagabond.
This is the birthplace and home of Dr. Schweitzer. He was a writer, philanthropist, theologian, doctor, musician, and received Nobel Peace Prize. He died at the age of 90 in 1965. Eguisheim is a circular village around the chateau of Count of Eguisheim. The official records date the village back to 720. However, archaeological excavation around the village showed that Cro-Magnon man came and occupied this area tens of thousands of years ago from Dordogne region in southwest France. Much later, the Romans left their roadway and camp at the village entrance. The chateau at the center of the village was established by Count Eberhard in 720. It is remarkable that people live here in homes and walk the streets that have been around for hundreds of years. Let's see why. Eguisheim was the cradle of Alsatian winemaking in the 4th century. Under the Counts of Eguisheim, and later under the bishops of Strasbourg, the wine industry expanded and their wines became famous in Europe during Middle Ages.
Berce mon cœur d'une langueur monotone. tout suffocant et blême quand sonne l'heure. Je me souviens des jours anciens et je pleure et je m'en vais au vent mauvais qui m'emporte de ci, de là, pareil à la feuille morte.
Leon IX, a son of Eguisheim family, was born in Eguisheim. He later became the Pope between 1048 and 1054. Imagine having bed and breakfast in this inn.
Vient de la ville.
We have walked only a couple of streets. There is more to see here.
Qui m'emporte de ci, de là.
Eguisheim. Beautiful.
The earliest written records on Colmar go back to 9th century under Emperor Charlemagne. In 1226, under Roman Emperor Frederick II, Colmar became a free imperial city. Colmar grew as a cultural and judicial center of Alsace. This part of Old Colmar is known as Petite Venice. In medieval times, it was a fisherman's row. The colors and atmosphere of streets and alleys have been well preserved since Middle Ages. Churches have timbered houses, gables, and balconies from Renaissance are reminders of the bourgeoisie life that once existed here. Maison de Tête, House of Heads, built around 1608. Maison Pfister, with painted panels, built 1537. This is Alsace folk dance at the town hall, with locals dressed up in traditional clothing. We have come to the end of our journey. Frederick Auguste Bartholdi, a famous architect and sculptor, was born in Colmar. He sculpted the Statue of Liberty, which was donated by France in 1886 to the United States. There are 4 other smaller copies, 2 in Paris, 1 in Bordeaux, and 1 in Colmar.